Hey Tony, Victor here. I wanted to look over my favorite openings for red and yellow versus the Sicilian. I have some videos on each variation in this opening. I just wanted to go over why I think these variations are the best. So, starting off, we have this opening, and I have a big video about how this is winning for red and yellow. The reason why I like to move it up too is for a few different reasons. One of them is that it keeps this open, it allows the queen to come up. It also has this one idea where this blue queen can no longer check or interpose. In other variation, the other big opening to play against is this one right here, pawn up 2. So of course you can't move the queen up immediately, because if you do, blue takes, then you have that, and this check is not doing anything here. So you move the knight up first, and I like to move the queen up. First you have to get a check in so that you don't force that pawn up. You also have that, and this becomes an idea to see that. So if green moves the bishop up here, then red can do that because the queen is boxed in. It can't really create any checks on red. And so the idea is to do this, or to support it down there. And this is a really powerful attack for red yellow. And I have a link to this one. It's Tamvir's knight attack. So that's why I think that instead of moving the bishop up, you should move the queen up. First of all, the reason why you don't, see, some people try this one out, where you do that, then you let the bishop come up. The reason why I don't like this one is because green can actually do that. I mean, you might think that you can just do something like this, but let's move out of the way. And then after the check, king moves over, and you can occupy the diagonal with this light square bishop while the queen is free. So this is just good for blue-green. Kind of laggy here. But yeah, that's why I don't like to move the pawn up. I think that's best. And if you move the pawn up here, then that transfers into the same variation as if you move the queen up. Go over that in a second. So here you do this. It's blue, I like to move there first. I guess you could move there. And yeah, this is a threat, but it's not quite a threat yet. It could become a threat. Now if you move the knight up here, you go into this variation. Obviously if you take, then you just take back after yellow check. So one idea is to do that. Take with check, and then you move over here. And the idea here is that you have this, and also the queen is now trapped. So, not sure what to do here, but yeah, I mean, I guess you do something like this. I don't know. Discovered attack on the queen. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that, but yeah. Yeah, actually, of course you don't do that, you do this. Because that was the whole purpose of the queen moving here, because then you have that threat. So, my mistake there. But yeah, you just take the knight if it comes up. Because if you don't take the knight, go immediately for this, then this is yeah, of course you can't do that because then you have that. But yeah, yeah, this is good for blue-green. Lose a knight, what do you have to show for it? I mean, I guess you have that, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a knight for a rook, but I think it's pretty equalish. It's not. I mean, the king is exposed here, so I don't really think that this is the best variation for red-yellow. Any rate, I think red-yellow have something much stronger than moving the knight up immediately. Which of course is just to take the knight here, as I showed earlier. So this knight does that. So here if you move the pawn up, then I think, yeah, let's see here. Can you do that yet? I guess not. Yeah, if you move here, then you take. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I guess this is actually not bad at all for red yellow, this variation. Do have the hanging bishop, and I guess you could have some things going on here. So let's see. Yeah, I guess this one is okay for red yellow. This actually might be good. Another thing, if you don't like that, also as red, you could just do this. Seems pretty solid. And of course, as blue here, you have to do that because now this is a real threat. You no longer have the queen check, and the queen can go in. So the thing about this is that after moving there, yellow can go here. And I guess you could think about that. Let's see here. Then yeah, I guess you have that now. So this is good for red yellow, as you can see. So much lag. At any rate, I've looked at this opening a little bit, and I have some vids on it. But what I think is the best try here for green, for blue and green, after you move the knight up there, and you have that threat, and the queen can no longer interpose in that diagonal, as I said. So the mate threat is still viable, which is why I move the pawn up to you. What I think might be a really good try is that. And then I think, yeah, but before you can do that, first you have to secure this. So the reason why I like to move the knight up first here before moving the queen out is that it allows this variation. And then take over here, and then blue knight moves over there. And I have a few videos about things you can do here as green, a couple of them actually. And yeah, I think this one is definitely like the best variation for both red, yellow, and blue, green. Like if you played perfectly, I think this is the variation you would enter. Because yeah, even if you do that, let's see, you can still yeah. Because you can't do both at once, and so green can easily interpose, and also the rook can check to prevent any kind of threats you have here. So this is the best variation that I see for blue-green, like if they play it perfectly. And I guess the final variation, the Sicilian, that we're going to be looking at, there are a lot of variations besides that people try out. But I think the one of the variation that's pretty common is this one. And the thing about moving up the pawn 1 is that it's really hard to get that diagonal open. So I think you just play the same opening. Yeah, I know that if you do this, you can just treat it exactly the same. 1 or 2 up, you can treat it exactly the same as the opening we just went over. Because nothing really changes that much. The pawn up 1. Yeah, treat it exactly the same. But if it's something like that, then I think, yeah, you move the queen here and you go for that idea. Because the idea here is that blue wants to move up there next, because the queen can't really come out. It can't move the pawn up. And so you want this idea that we have in the Skywalker attack. And I have a video on this one too. To note, there's one final opening that I played against that we should know about in the Sicilian, which is if we play this, sometimes people like to play that move. And this one's kind of tricky because it's like the queen wants to go there. So, and if the queen doesn't go there, then green can move the queen out and blue-green have equalized. So how do you deal with this? So I think what you do is you have to play like this. And I mean, it might seem like it's a little bit better, but I think this is actually good for red-yellow because you can get the rook active. Pieces are much more active here. Lose a pawn, but it doesn't mean anything. Blue has nothing developed. Green only has the queen developed, but so does red. And yellow's ready to just make moves in this opening. So, yeah. Pretty confident that that's the move right there. And yeah, that's the final variation that I wanted to look at here. Any rate, those are my openings for the Sicilian as red yellow and also as blue green. A big part of this video was of course the icy stun Cooch Teamy defense, which I think is the best. And I know it's a long video, but yeah, if you wanted to let me know you think I missed anything, feel free to let me know. And I'll catch you next time. Peace out.